There were some videos they wanted playing. I don't think. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I'm so sorry you've overheard my conversation now. Welcome to Ramadan Radio. You're on the Sisters Hour with me, Rahana Sidat, founder and CEO of Jamilas Legacy. I'm accompanied by my wonderful host, Rahima. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I'm Rahima Karatella, a long-time supporter of Jamila's Legacy. And alhamdulillah, she is honestly an amazing, amazing lady. She has made a difference to so many people's lives. Personally, we've used her services for a family member of ours. And I think we underestimate how much mental health can impact us. And so today, on our Pledge Day, we've been discussing mental health across our communities, how it affects people. We've been doing some myth busting as well. We'll be taking a few more calls over the next couple of hours from recovery workers. And inshallah, thank you so much for everyone who's called in and donated and supported so far. Every penny that you've donated will go towards protecting somebody who is vulnerable, who is struggling with their mental health, and who needs that lifeline. And Jamila's Legacy is a lifeline for people in the community.
Jazakallah, Rahima. I think before we start, we just maybe summarize the day, what's been going on, and why we're here. So I think some of you who may have joined us earlier in the day will be aware we had a food sale at Hasina's Cakes. We had another stall at outside Jungle Paprika with bubble tea. Thank you to all the donors, everybody who made something or donated. We are so grateful to you. We don't have a total of what we raised through the food sale, but we're hoping the sisters are counting up, and later on this evening we'll be able to share how much we raised through that as well.
And we can put it on social media.
Absolutely,
as well,
yeah.
So.
And then we do have an auction, and we've got several items. Did you want to mention what we've got? And then we'll put some photographs up later. I mean, perhaps we should have brought them in the studio. We'll bring them in during the break.
Yeah, so we've got an original piece of artwork donated by Rashida Art. So we'll put a picture of that up on the Facebook page, maybe in the comment section, if we can get that picture added in. We also have a voucher for...
We've got a voucher from Shaf's Beauty for a facial, hydrofacial. So thank you to them as well, and to Shazia. And then we have some Pilates vouchers, Pilates classes vouchers.
So if you make a pledge and a donation today of £500, then we have been given some vouchers for classes at Studio PLT, so you can get a 1-month membership to Studio PLT, which is great. I've been going there, and honestly, I recommend it enough.
Lovely. So we have got somebody online coming on very soon. It's somebody with lived experience who wants to share her experiences. So it's ironically it's a Jamila as well. So another Jamila coming into the. She's going to be speaking to us online, and hopefully she'll be joining us very soon. While she's doing that, do you want to just? So while we are just waiting for Jamila to join us...
We've had a fantastic day today, haven't we, Rahana? We have had so many children in here taking part in competitions. They've been drawing, they've been colouring, and they have been writing poetry.
Yeah.
So they've been talking about what they love the most. And I think it's really important to embed within our children encouraging them to be grateful, and also to verbalize or to even write some of the things that they're grateful for. So that was the theme of today's competition.
And I think we need to encourage expression, because I think we don't encourage enough expressing our feelings, and art can be an amazing way of doing that. And when we instill that into our children from a very young age, they're more likely to tell us when they're not feeling great, when there are problems. They're more likely to come to us. So I think facilitating those kind of situations. One of the artists who facilitated that, Lucy, and the other artist was Tazim from Studio Name. So big shout out to them. Thank you. They facilitated those sessions, drop-in art and wellbeing sessions this afternoon. And her comment to me as she left was that I'm so surprised at the amount of children who actually are creative and do arts at home.
Yeah.
So well done to all those parents out there who are encouraging their children to get involved in art and using it as a form of creativity, of building resilience and maintaining mental well-being. So I think it's fantastic. The other thing that I was going to say is we had a competition, didn't we? We had 2 competitions, an art competition and a poetry competition. Now, we are going to be announcing winners later on, possibly in Zebi's show. Zebi will be joining us at 8 because our judges are still looking at all the decisions. We've got different age categories, and we've got some great vouchers as well. So we've got...
Pit Fire Pizza vouchers. We've got some Fun Valley vouchers.
Stay and Play,
We've got some vouchers from Brew for milkshakes and gelato.
And waffles,
And waffles. So, we've got a whole range of prizes.
I think there's a Spider-Man as well.
Ooh,
yeah, there's a Spider-Man in there as well. So we'll announce that later. But let's go to our guest, Jamila Ismail. Are you there, Jamila? Coming on? Ready? Please bear with us with the tech. Oh, okay. We're having some technical problems, so we'll carry
Jamila,
on.
Are you there? I can hear Jamila in the background. Jamila, can you hear us?
Jam, let's take a video of you.
Please bear with us. So just to remind our listeners why we're here. It's Jamila's Legacy Pledge Day. We are in desperate need of your support and your donations and your pledges so that we can continue to do the work that we're doing. We work with so many people who struggle. We often meet them at the most difficult times of their lives, often in crisis. And we try to provide safe spaces and handhold and help them to wait well, often while they're waiting for services so that they don't deteriorate. Sometimes, Rima, it's even more challenging because somebody's picking up the phone and saying, I'm on a bridge. It's that desperate, or I've got a knife in my hand, or I'm going to jump out of a building. And we have to deal with these situations.
But this is why Jamila's Legacy is so effective, because you're so responsive to the needs of the community, and literally £100 donation of yours, of you, our audience members listening at home, can fund the Crisis Support Fund, which will enable the staff from Jamila's Legacy to reach out to people who are literally struggling with poor mental health and who may be feeling suicidal, and they just need that emergency support at that time. And being in crisis is it's not an easy thing, and actually when you try and go through
even
the
if you're
systems,
supporting Rima, if you're supporting somebody
even
in crisis,
for their family, it's really
so
hard.
challenging. And I think people don't realize, unless you have experience or you have experience of caring or supporting somebody. And I'll give you a typical example is when you're extremely unwell and you have a feeling, a thought, to you that thought is real. It doesn't matter what anybody else tells you. To you, it's night, even if it is day. And that can prove extremely challenging for the people around you to support. So when people are unwell like that, they need compassion and they need care and support. I think we're having problems getting Jamila on, and I would say, Jamila, we're hoping our team, the tech team, are trying really hard. May Allah reward them all. They've been working so hard all day with us, all fasting, and they've stuck around this evening to support us. So please bear with us. They'll be here soon. So here we go. I think we're there. We've got a thumbs up. Jamila, are you there?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Assalamu alaikum, Jamila. I'm sorry, we've had some tech issues in the studio. I'm really glad that you've joined us. Do you want to tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
So I'm Jamila Ismail, and should I just talk about how I came across Jamila's Legacy?
Yeah, if you feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah. So I found out about Jamila's Legacy through my best friend, Jamila Faisal. And she just told me about like what they do is they just help you out. Like you can just talk to them and anything like that, and they'll just listen to you. And they can also advocate for you and things like that. And they do sessions like in like Highfields Library on Thursdays and things like that. And I went to one of them, and it just felt like really nice, you know, talking to people, just like just generally just having someone to talk to, even if it's just like normal conversations.
Yes, so you
Because I was just
initially,
at home.
yeah,
Sorry.
sorry.
Yeah, I was just at home, like just in my bed, depressed, not knowing what to do because um I had nothing to do. And then I came across Jamila's Legacy, and now I volunteer for you guys as well now,
Yeah.
and alhamdulillah and stuff. And
Alhamdulillah,
yeah,
yeah,
I'm
you're one
just
of our
yeah,
advocates, and you know you get out there and raise awareness for us.
yeah.
But also, you know, you're also part of our Young People's Project. Do you want to tell people a little bit
Yeah.
about that?
Um, yeah, so with the Young People's Project, so what it's about is it's about like getting young people together and helping them build their confidence, even just like if it's just talking to them and having conversations with them. And especially like because in this day and age, like everyone's really anxious and they have like really big mental health issues and things. It's just good to like talk to someone your age, and then when you have things in common as well and they understand you as well, that helps as well.
So having peers that
So
understand you, have similar
yeah,
experiences, being in a place where you're not judged and you can
yeah,
be just yourself,
mm,
and you feel kind of belong and welcomed,
yeah,
is helpful. So I know that you've been with us quite some time now, and it's great that you're starting to volunteer now as well, and you're sharing your story. Do you have any tips for anybody else that might be listening and is struggling? Any advice for them, maybe? Just as a person who yourself has had your own experiences.
yeah. I'd say just like when you're down and stuff, you just need someone to talk to, even if it's like it could be your best friend if you have a best friend. It could be, for example, you can just talk to like someone in Jamila's Legacy as well, and like to reach out to them. They have like mental health cafes and things, and even if like you're in bed and you can't get out of bed and stuff, and you're just struggling, you can just give them a call and they'll respond to you.
Absolutely. So, if you are
Yeah,
somebody who's struggling, we do have mental health cafes 4 times a week. You can call during those hours. You can drop in. You don't even need an appointment. You can find more information on our website, which is www.jamilaslegacy.co.uk. We have the Women's Project that Jamila mentioned. That's a weekly Thursday morning, the Women's Mental Health Wellbeing Project, and that meets at Highfields Library. And then we have obviously a telephone service as well that you can call. And we have several other projects. But today we're mainly focusing on the Crisis Fund and counselling services, and particularly trying to support the women and the Young People's Project. We're also trying to restart our men's mental health project. But I'm going to hand you over to Rahima if she's got any questions to ask you. Thank you so much, Jamila. It's really ironic that the amount of Jamilas I've met since I've set up Jamila's Legacy, and when I knew none, and now I know so many, mashallah, beautiful name. Jazakallah.
Jamila, it sounds like you've really benefited from the support that you've received from Jamila's Legacy. But are you okay
yes.
for me to just ask a little bit about in what ways have you felt supported? What do you get out
Um,
of going sessions like on a personal basis?
I just feel like I have a purpose in life, and one thing that I would like to talk about is with Jamila's Legacy, Rihanna really kindly introduced me to this thing called the Sagoon Project,
Mm.
and that's like that is to do with like counseling in terms of like cancer, and I've had cancer before, so that really helped me a lot. And even just going to like group sessions and everything, and knowing, you know, I'm not alone in this. and have other people to talk to who've experienced cancer. It's just really good.
You sound very strong, Jamila. You sound like
Jazakallah.
you're a real trooper, mashallah. And
Jazakallah.
we pray all the best for your future.
Ameen.
And may Allah
Inshallah. Ameen.
grant you shifa in any
Ameen.
of your illnesses, and grant you sabr as well.
Ameen. Ameen. Jazakallah so much for joining us, Jamila. May Allah reward you abundantly, and inshallah we see you soon in the studio next time.
Okay.
Okay,
Take care.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu
Wa alaikum
alaikum.
salam. Yeah. Just to say, we've had several donations come through as well. So, Jazakallah to the Khalifa family, £50 donation. Jazakallah to the Lunat family for their £50 donation. And then we've had several £200 donations come through. So, Jazakallah, do you want to tell them a little bit about the details of how to donate?
Yeah, so you can donate by going to the website jamilaslegacy.co.uk. Also on the Facebook feed, you'll see a QR code. You can scan the QR code and it will take you straight to our page. You can pay via PayPal. And some of the things that we're fundraising for £25, you can help someone with the early help that they need. Right now, if you contact your GP and if you say, I'm struggling with your mental health, they put you on a waiting list to have Let's Talk therapy, and you could be waiting for weeks to get somebody to get back to you. So actually,
Let alone weeks, Rahima, it can be months, and it can be even 18 months. It depends on how you're assessed, and when you're really unwell, you don't necessarily answer the questions appropriately, or you may say, no, I'm fine, when you're not fine. It's really hard. Sometimes it's very long-winded because they're doing a risk assessment with you. So it can be really difficult when you're not in that space.
And who knows how culturally sensitive it is,
absolutely.
Or not is.
And then what tends to happen is it's categorized. The type of support you receive is actually depends on what you say and where you score. So you could be just given an app link, which is fine for some people, especially young people. There's a lot of technology out there which is working for them, but some people need in-person support. Some people need long-term support. Everybody is different, but for long-term support, it's very difficult to access. Often you have to have a diagnosis, you have to be on a waiting list long time. So, and then people deteriorate. So what we're trying to say is we focus on preventing mental health problems, preventing long-term mental health conditions, and early intervention is really key. And when we know the evidence is there, when we intervene early, when we provide support early, people are less likely to develop long-term mental illness. They're less likely to need help. We talk about crisis. Crisis is expensive, Statutory services are very aware of that, and that's why partnering up with organisations like ours, which they're doing more and more now, is really essential, because we're actually, in a sense, enabling people to thrive in their communities, so they're not having to be hospitalised, they're not having to be sectioned. So this stuff's really important.
And I suppose you also have the insight and the insider knowledge that they don't actually have.
Yeah.
They're
Absolutely.
coming from a really clinical background, and then you're coming in saying, actually, there's so many nuances within this community. It's not a one size fits all approach. Everyone's going to be slightly different or have a different experience, and this is why when Jamila's Legacy, by being that brokerage service between the statutory sector and the community, like, you're perfectly placed to be able to advise on what works from within the community, and I really rate that.
Yeah, and I think they value our contributions, our advice, even in terms of developing services. So we have a really good working relationship. We worked hard at that, and that partnership and collaboration has really made a difference to our communities. So the person-centered services that we offer, trauma-informed, very important. And one of those is the one that Sukoon mentioned. Not Rahima, I'm sorry, this is me and my fast now. Jamila mentioned was the Sukoon Project. So the Sukoon Project was a culturally sensitive cancer service that we provided support to cancer patients and their families and their loved ones from the South Asian community. So it was group therapy and counselling and peer support and resilience building and self-awareness. And as a result, we were able to deliver in a 6-month period 120 counselling sessions.
Wow,
Obviously, that funding's finished. We received some funding from Macmillan, and we'd love to start that up again and provide people.
You could hear from Jamila, who was talking about how much that service meant to her. And when services like that, when they're there for a brief time and people are really engaged with them, and then when they're not there, it's almost like you're a little bit lost. We have had a couple of donations come in.
Amazing.
So we have had, and this definitely deserves a takbirat, guys.
Takbir! Allahu Akbar!
We have had a £500 donation from Abdul Sattar Chambo. Jazakallah so much for that donation.
May Allah reward you abundantly. Subhanallah.
And we have also had a £10 donation from Habib Karatella, my son.
Mashallah,
Jazakallah.
mashallah.
Thank you, Habib.
Have we not got any more of those brew gelato vouchers?
We
have you given them all out?
No, they're
right, so
here in my
he can
pocket.
have one of those. There you go,
Well done,
mashallah.
Habib.
Jazakallah.
He's only 14 and
mashallah. May Allah reward you. I mean,
Ameen,
you know,
ameen.
and I think it's wonderful. Earlier in the day, we had young people ring in a charity that they've just started. I can't remember the name. So Yusuf and Zach, please forgive me, but they have pledged £1,500. And they said, we don't have the money, but we are going to find a way to raise that money for you, whether it's through messaging their friends, their families, having an event, but they're going to raise that money.
And this is it. If you're sitting at home thinking, I really want to do something to help Jamila's legacy, but actually I don't have a lot of money right now, make the intention now. Make the intention that you would like to raise X amount, and then we will help you to put on an event or to do a fundraiser. Like, we have things happening throughout the year at Jamila's Legacy, and so we will help you to reach your donation. Jazakallah.
And you know, just recently we had 2 marathon runners, may Allah reward them, through that decided to run a marathon for us and raise funds. And through them and the support of Drop of Compassion, they came and presented us with a check. And I was just so tearful because we weren't expecting that. But that has resulted in us being able to support 2 young people so far and more to come, to have counselling without having to wait. And it's country-sensitive counselling right now.
And this is the marathon that was just gone,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So this is, you. If you donate today, your money will be spent within the next few weeks or within the next month or
I've got
2
people
months.
waiting, Rahima. I've got people ready and waiting. We just need the funds so I can pair people up with culture-appropriate services so that they can start getting help. Especially when we think about, for me, young people, I really worry because they're out of education, they're out of work, they're unwell, they're starting to deteriorate, and then it just becomes a spiral. If we can get them help early, they've got safe, therapeutic counselling, they've got therapy, they've got a place to work out their trauma, their problems, because 6 sessions of CBT is not going to cut it. Sorry, cognitive behavioral therapy is not going to cut somebody. It's not going to help somebody who has got severe trauma, who's got childhood trauma. They need long-term therapy, and the system is not set up. Statutory bodies are not set up for that.
And this is the other fact that we've got as well, is 1 in 5 children and young people will struggle with their mental health.
Exactly.
So it's 1/5 of our young people, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So you think about that in a classroom of 30 children, 1 in 5. Yeah. So how many? And I think even listeners, if you're an adult, stats are 1 in 4 of us will struggle with a mental health problem in any given year in England, right? 1 in 4 of us. Yeah. And if we think about, reflect on your experiences, and there's been difficult times for every single one of us. Our mental health is impacted. Yeah. We may mask it, we may hide it, we may find ways to cope, and some of us will ignore it, and then it will surface.
So what are some of the telltales, Rahana, when you can tell that actually, do you know what, I'm not feeling myself here? What symptoms are you likely to have?
So before I mention the symptoms that you might have, I will say this is sometimes you don't notice yourself that you're not well and your mental health is not great. It's the others around you that will notice something's not right. But generally, it'll be things like you no longer have motivation, you don't enjoy the things you used to enjoy. And for some people, it's like the joy's been sucked out of you. So I can give example of myself, because I mean, I've had 4 children, and every single time I've had postnatal depression. I've also had other instances where I've had depression, and I have generalized anxiety disorder. So I'm an anxious person. So I get it for other people, but I have had so much therapy, alhamdulillah. I have had lots of education, and I have a wonderful support network. My family is amazing. So I'm okay. I'm good. But other people don't.
It's
so
very humbling for you to,
you know,
to be honest and say, actually, even
Yeah.
I've struggled
Yeah.
with my mental health. But there might be, our listeners might be at home thinking, actually, am I struggling? Am I going down a
it
spiral?
could, yeah. And so the kind of things that might happen is you don't want to get out of bed, you don't want to shower, you don't want to eat, you don't want to talk to anybody, you close yourself off from the world, you lose your appetite. Some people will overeat, do the opposite. Some people sleep a lot, some people can't sleep. It affects people differently, and it depends on certain conditions as well. So if, you know, what I'm describing is usually anxiety and depression, yeah, but they're common presenting symptoms in other mental health conditions as well. For some people, then obviously it can go on to more severe, hearing voices, being paranoid. It depends, you know. But I think early help really, really helps people, and that's why we all need basic mental health education. We need coping skills. We need coping strategies. And if we teach these our children, Rahima, at a young age, they're going to be able to cope with things, because unfortunately we're all going to deal with difficult times, failing an exam, getting into trouble at school, losing a pet, losing a loved one. These things happen, yeah? Relationship breakdowns. So if we give people the tools so they can cope, because yeah, you are going to be down sometimes, but at least you're able to get up, you know,
and
eventually.
have that resilience.
Yeah?
And some people just lose that motivation. They lose that sense of resilience that they've always had, and they're trying to figure it out themselves, thinking, I don't feel like me.
Exactly.
What's wrong with me?
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I think that's
It takes it first of all, it takes courage to come out and say, actually, I'm not okay.
Exactly.
But it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
I know in the past it was a real stigma for you to say, I'm struggling with my mental health, but now it's so common, and this service is right here within your community. The community of Leicester has such a wonderful service called Jamilas Legacy, and you need to check them out and check out their activities that happen throughout the week. Please, let's be part of this conversation. We're going to be taking a call shortly, but call into the studio. The studio line is 0116 4822 086, or send us a text on 077 488 55055. Text in with your questions.
That's your WhatsApp, yeah?
You can WhatsApp any of your questions through to myself or Rohana, or even any of our guest speakers. And you're listening to Ramadan FM on 87.7.
You got a question?
So, one of our callers wants to ask you, Rohana, what is the best thing about Jamila's Legacy? What do you enjoy the most? I can see you've got real passion. You've got real passion to do it, but to do it day in, day out, what are you getting from
I absolutely love my job. I absolutely love my job. I love all the people that I meet. There's always something to learn from somebody, regardless of who that person is, no matter how much they're struggling. And I'll give you an example is I had an 18-year-old who literally called me while she was going to jump off a bridge. But she has taught me so much, so much. She's around. She's 19 now, subhanAllah. It was literally a touch-and-go situation. I had to bring in our recovery workers onto the call, 3 of us on 3 different phones, one to the parent, one to emergency services, and myself talking to her. And we managed to get her away from that bridge, and the police found her, and she was safe. But it's what she taught me and the conversations I've had. I can't share those, but there are people out there who may not be as old as me. I mean, I'm a grandma, but they have so much wisdom and so much knowledge. And if only we would listen to people. We need to give people time. We need to be compassionate and not judgmental, because the answers to all of these problems lie within often our young people, would you believe? You know? So they just need a little bit of help, people to trust them, give them a voice, and they're
But see,
flying.
these are all Islamic principles
Exactly.
as well, right? So if we're going to practice our deen, we need to show compassion to each other. We need to take time to care for each other. That's why visiting the sick in our within Islam does have its own reward.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if you see this as an extension, and what I would say to our listeners is, look, if you yourself can't do this kind of work, that's okay. It's not meant to be for everybody, but if you can support us with your du'as, that's so important to us. Volunteer for us, and obviously donate. Today we really are asking and appealing for you to make your pledges, even if you don't have the money now. Like Rahima said, you know, if you have a plan that you want to do something, get in touch with us. We'll support you with that. You want to hold an event, a sale, a run, whatever it is you want to do, a sponsored walk, we will help you with that. If you want to contact your friends and family and maybe have a collection, we're happy with that as well. Even your £25 will fund a women's session, one session. Yeah. So if you can donate £25, that will also make a difference. If you donate £50 to us, that will fund one counselling session. Now, Rahima, I don't know whether you know how expensive private therapy is. So I know people say, well, if you're on a waiting list for such a long time on the NHS, why don't you go private? Do you know what the costs are now?
I can think it's probably somewhere between £200 and £200, £150 to £200 for a session.
It can be that much. It's about £100 in Leicester. In London, it can be £100 starting price. £100 session. Even if you are employed, even if you have a salary, we take the cost of living, all the bills, all the responsibility. If you have children, everything, £100. If you were having weekly sessions, that's £400, Rahima. Where do people get that from? If we can help somebody so they don't lose their job, they can continue caring for their parents, their children don't get taken into care, then we are helping people, yeah? So please, look, whether it's £5, £50, please support us. We really appreciate every single penny, and we will use it to support more people. Jazakallahu khairan. Have we got our next...
We have got our
Is
next
she here?
caller in.
Fantastic. So I'm going to hand over to you. You're going to interview Tahira, am I right?
Yeah, Tahira, are you with us?
Ji, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Tahira. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. How are you guys?
I'm okay. Jazakallah for coming onto the show. Tahira, I believe you're a mental health support worker, and you work with recovery support.
Yes, I do. I'm very grateful to be with Jamila's legacy. Just Rihanna supported me, and just on board with Rihanna.
So you specifically specialize in women's mental health. Can you talk to our audience more about what the effects of that is, what that looks like in real life, and then we can talk more about signposting and recovery and therapy?
Sure. So a lot of women do come at a very late stage in their lives when they've had lots of layers of problems and issues going on in their lives, and it causes them up to a point where they've got physical illnesses. It starts with stress, anxiety, a lot of isolation, and then it creates lack of confidence, and then they begin to struggle to cope. A lot of it is sometimes language barrier, lack of education, no support network, finances, postnatal depression. There's so many things, carers strain, bereavement, all these type of things can affect your mental health.
And women can also bear the brunt of being single mums.
Absolutely.
So you've got the strain of having children and having that no support network as well. And then how would you say that cultural sensitivities comes into the work that you do with our ladies? Because do you come at it from more of an Islamic perspective, or how does faith come into this?
So we try and be very neutral, because we can get all women from all walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just your general basic moral values come into play. So a lot of things are passed down behaviors in families, controlling, people pleasing, what will people say, spiritual abuse. There's a lot of unrealistic expectations and heavily burdened women. It just affects them in lots of different ways. And then sometimes they are very emotional and they find it very difficult. And then they stop, they can't cope and they can't cope with their struggles and they become very silent and withdrawn. So it's just, and then when we do have our Muslim community coming through, we do talk through again just normal moral values and just general humanitarian behaviors.
Okay.
And then obviously we because we use a person-centered approach, we all, including Tahira, if that person's faith is really important to them, if Islam is really important to them, we use that approach, whatever's going to help that bit, because a lot of us, faith is such a core of our being, and that married with the mental health expertise really helps that individual. So we do use that approach, but as Tahira said, we work with anybody. So it depends.
Muslims and non-Muslims and everybody.
Anybody in need.
And so, Tahira, I believe that you specialize in recovery support. So tell me more about recovery support. What does that look like in practice, and what kinds of things can it actually help with?
Sure. So the most important thing we focus on is active listening. So we've had a lot of training in different types of fields, because we could have anybody coming in with any type of problem. Like I said earlier, it could be layered up in so many things. So we try and create a confidential and a non-judgmental space for them. And then we try and keep the same recovery worker to support them one-to-one, to just build rapport with them, just encouraging them of basic things like encouraging them of 5 ways of well-being, social engagement, starting to look at their hobbies that they've lost within time with responsibilities, just looking at root causes, a holistic approach, and then
This
just
is really good.
prioritizing. Yeah.
Tahira, like having that holistic approach to when you're working with women allows them to feel like actually they're not trying to put me in a box here. They want to know a bit of everything about me, everything that makes me me. And
Definitely.
I think that looking at root causes and having that holistic approach is really good. Sorry, carry on.
That's
I
okay.
really get excited when I hear about holistic approaches being used in
Sure.
therapy. It's so important.
Well,
I just feel like we need to look at the root causes where it all began. And it's not like a 10-minute or 5-minute doctor's appointment where you're in and out. So we will give them the first appointment is usually the longest one. So we try and find out and prioritize and then make small consistent goals after we've seen them for a few times. So the first few sessions is all about listening to them because they are valued and they are very important.
absolutely.
And then you, once you've done their assessment and you're looking and you've started working with them with your holistic approach, then would you look at what are the next steps? Is it therapy of some kind? Is it let's talk about the next stages.
Sure. So therapy works. There's all sorts of different forms of therapies out there. We would signpost or refer to specialists when they need it, but first and foremost, it's all talking. So the form of release is that you're just sharing a burden, and it lightens your load when you're talking to somebody, and you feel like you're being heard. So we offer an empathetic ear, we're compassionate, and we feel very valued. We make them feel very valued. And we also try and look at different types of healthy coping mechanisms through our different types of training. Just depends what they come with. And then obviously we also look at signposting them to the correct services to give them the best support they need, and also refer them to services. But that can take a lot of waiting time. So in the meantime, we will see them more regularly as and when they need us. And we will talk about mindfulness, meditation, exercise, learning new skills, also trying to encourage them to attend well-being groups, going for walks, also looking at gratitude journals, just small daily goals while they are waiting to be supported in other areas they need support from.
And so, how long is there a time frame given to an individual that you might start working with on recovery, or is there an end date? Or once they've been referred to other services, do you check in on those individuals to say, okay, we last saw you 6 months ago where you were being referred on to X service, whether it was Sakoon or whether it's another NHS service? Then do you go back in and check in on those individuals?
Sure. So our work is ongoing. They can drop in, they can book an appointment, or they can give us a call if they're unwell to come out. They can also carry on seeing us besides all the other services they are accessing as well. There's no end time with us. We will try our best to give them the autonomy to try and become independent, pick themselves up, and get back to normality as much as possible. So we will keep encouraging them. We'll try not to enable them too much, as to speak. So just to make them more independent, that they are, giving them that confidence that you're okay, you can manage this. But we will do lots of well-being check-ins as well throughout.
Yeah, so sometimes people will come for a period of time of need, and then they will go away. And then they know that if they need it again, they come back. And some people, we will do action planning, goal setting, as Tahira said. We use decider skills, which are basic cognitive behavioral therapy techniques and other coping strategies with people who need them. Sometimes we just sit with them and do some meditation, some breathing exercises, because that's what they need, because they're super anxious or having a panic attack. So we do basic things. And an example I'll leave you with was a lady who was in a domestic abuse situation, became homeless. We supported her through that journey. She is now in emergency accommodation in a hotel. Inshallah, please pray for her that she gets a proper home, and she's starting to get some benefits. She hasn't got rights to stay in the UK, so please pray for her. But she's been through a very, very difficult and abusive relationship. May Allah have mercy on her and family.
May Allah grant all of those who are struggling in silence at this time. We are ready to go into a break now, Rahana. But please keep your questions coming in. Thank you so much to everyone who's donated and pledged. And remember, every penny is going to make a difference to our campaign today. And we'll be back shortly after the break on 87.7 FM.
Ramadan Mubarak for those who are fasting. My name's Aisha Acharya, and I'm a trustee for a women's support group called Sisters for Islam. I first joined Jamilas Legacy around 2015-16 when they first started. Jamila's Legacy has been a big part of my healing journey. I've not been very well in the past. I've been really struggling. I had severe postnatal depression when I had my 3 children when they were little. I embraced Islam almost 35 years ago, and I didn't have the family. I was disowned. I joined Jamila's Legacy, and they've been a real support to me. I've had a lot of awareness in actual mental health. I didn't understand at the time. So it's raised a lot of my awareness about what mental health is all about. Again, a lot of resilience, keep striving and keep moving forward. And the training that I've received from Jamila's Legacy the workshops on the different aspects of mental health. But over the time, I've really understood, and I've learned, because my faith has really helped me. And I do believe that Allah tests those that He loves the most, and that with every difficulty there is ease. It's really important that we keep learning. I go to Jamilas Legacies, the mental health crisis cafes that have been really helpful, and also the women's support group, because it's women only, so I prefer that, and it happens to be predominantly Muslim. It gives me a safe space where I feel comfortable to share and listen and learn from others, and knowing that I'm not alone. And I'm now in a space where I can actually help and support others and deliver mental health and well-being workshops. I just want to share with everybody that please don't feel that you're alone. You're never alone. Get the help that you need. It's important to be around other people and connecting with others and learning new things. And most importantly, I may be repeating myself, but knowing that really there is help out there, and get the help that you need. You don't have to struggle on your own, and trust in Allah. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings everyone. Ramadan Mubarak for those who are fasting. My name's Aisha Acharya, and I'm a trustee for a women's support group called Sisters for Islam. I first joined Jamilas Legacy around 2015-16 when they first started. Jamila's Legacy has been a big part of my healing journey. I've not been very well in the past. I've been really struggling. I had severe postnatal depression when I had my 3 children when they were little. I embraced Islam almost 35 years ago, and I didn't have the family. I was disowned. I joined Jamila's Legacy, and they've been a real support to me. I've had a lot of awareness in actual mental health. I didn't understand at the time, so it's raised a lot of my awareness about what mental health is all about. Again, a lot of resilience, keep striving and keep moving forward. And the training that I've received from Jamila's Legacy, the workshops on the different aspects of mental health. But over the time, I've really understood, and I've learned, because my faith has really helped me. And I do believe that Allah tests those that He loves the most, and that with every difficulty there is ease. It's really important that we keep learning. I go to Jamila's Legacies, the mental health crisis cafes that have been really helpful, and also the women's support group, because it's women only, so I prefer that, and it happens to be predominantly Muslim. It gives me a safe space where I feel comfortable to share and listen and learn from others, and knowing that I'm not alone. And I'm now in a space where I can actually help and support others and deliver mental health and well-being workshops. I just want to share with everybody that please don't feel that you're alone. You're never alone. Get the help that you need. It's important to be around other people and connecting with others and learning new things. And most importantly, I may be repeating myself, but knowing that really there is help out there, and get the help that you need. You don't have to struggle on your own, and trust in Allah. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings everyone. Ramadan Mubarak for those who are fasting. My name's Aisha Acharya, and I'm a trustee for a women's support group called Sisters for Islam. I first joined Jamila's Legacy around 2015-16 when they first started. Jamila's Legacy has been a big part of my healing journey. I've not been very well in the past. I've been really struggling. I had severe postnatal depression when I had my 3 children when they were little. I embraced Islam almost 35 years ago, and I didn't have the family. I was disowned. I joined Jamila's Legacy, and they've been a real support to me. I've had a lot of awareness in actual mental health that I didn't understand at the time. So it's raised a lot of my awareness about what mental health is all about. Again, a lot of resilience, keep striving and keep moving forward. And the training that I've received from Jamila's Legacy, the workshops on the different aspects of mental health. But over the time, I've really, really understood, and I've learned, because my faith has really, really helped me. And I do believe that Allah tests those that He loves the most, and that with every difficulty there is ease. It's really, really important that we keep learning. I go to Jamila's Legacies, the mental health crisis cafes that have been really, really helpful, and also the women's support group, because it's women only, so I prefer that, and it happens to be predominantly Muslim. It gives me a safe space where I feel comfortable to share and listen and learn from others, and knowing that I'm not alone. And I'm now in a space where I can actually help and support others and deliver mental health and well-being workshops. I just want to share with everybody that please don't feel that you're alone. You're never alone. Get the help that you need. It's important to be around other people and connecting with others.
Assalamu alaikum and hello.
Things.
My name is Farhana Patel and I'm a clinical psychologist. I'm based in one of our city community mental health teams in Leicester, and I'm an employee of the Leicestershire Partnership NHS Trust. I have over 15 years' experience of working with adults with a range of severe and enduring mental health difficulties. It is important that we are aware of the signs that we may be struggling with our mental health. These may include a loss of interest or joy in activities that we may have previously enjoyed. It may involve a sense of feeling overcome with worry, anxiety, fear, or dread. We may find ourselves experiencing a sense of grief, find ourselves feeling tearful a lot of the time. We may be finding it hard to focus and concentrate on tasks, or to make decisions. If you can relate to any of these experiences, it may be that you are struggling with your mental health, and it may be that you need professional support. Know that you are not alone, and know that help is available. In the way that we care for our physical health, it is also important to care for our mental health. Mental health difficulties can over time also affect our physical health, and equally physical health difficulties or problems can affect our mental health. Some of the physical signs that we may be struggling with our mental health can include a loss of sleep, feeling tired and fatigued, experiencing aches and pains, or a loss of appetite, or conversely, eating more than usual. It is therefore important to know the signs so that we can spot when we are struggling with our mental health and then go about accessing the support that we need. The first point of contact is usually your GP, and many GP surgeries also have mental health professionals that work from within the surgeries themselves. So if you are struggling, then do approach your GP. There are also, of course, community organisations out there that can help people with their mental health difficulties, and I will speak a little bit about them later. But firstly, just to share some statistics with you. Mental health difficulties are on the rise. At least 1 in 4 adults annually will experience mental health difficulties. So this is an area of health that does not discriminate. Anyone can experience mental health difficulties within their lifetime, though we know that some groups are at higher risk than others. We know, for instance, that women are more likely than men to experience common mental health problems, and that young women between the ages of 16 and 24 are most affected. We also know that people from ethnic backgrounds or those facing discrimination or socioeconomic disadvantage are also at higher risk. The incidence of mental health problems in children have also increased significantly in recent years. Something we are particularly aware of is that people from racialized or ethnic backgrounds, including people who identify as South Asian, are less likely to access mainstream mental health services. The research evidence tells us that this is due to a range of factors, one of which is the lack of availability of culturally appropriate mental health support for people from diverse backgrounds. Leicestershire Partnership NHS Trust has been working increasingly closely with community services such as Jamilas Legacy to understand and improve mainstream mental health services so that they can better cater to the needs of the diverse populations that they serve. Part of the work is aimed at strengthening our links with community partners and working in partnership with them. However, many community services, such as Jamila's Legacy, which has recently celebrated its 10th anniversary, and which provide vital mental health support to people from within our communities, rely on access to external funding sources in order to keep running. Our community services, such as Jamila's Legacy, are critical in addressing the current gap in services and inequity of access to adequate and culturally appropriate mental health support for people from diverse backgrounds. External funding sources are often not guaranteed, and this is why Jamila's Legacy are inviting you to kindly support their organisation on their pledge day to day through your Sadaqah and Lillah donations. In doing so, you'll be helping to secure access to vital mental health support for people from within our communities that need it, alongside, of course, acquiring the elevated rewards for yourself of giving in charity in this blessed month of Ramadan, which inshallah will go on to benefit you in both this world and the next. Thank you for listening and thank you for your support.
Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings everyone. Ramadan Mubarak for those who are fasting. My name's Aisha Acharya and I'm a trustee for a women's support group called Sisters for Islam. I first joined Jamila's Legacy around 2015-16 when they first started. Jamila's Legacy has been a big part of my healing journey.
Assalamu alaikum. You're back with us on Ramadan FM, 87.7 FM on Jamila's Legacy Pledge Day. I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Rahima Karatella. You okay? How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. You've been with us all day. May Allah reward you.
Alhamdulillah,
Yeah.
it's been good.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. I just want to give a quick shout out to Irfan, who was here from 3 o'clock. Obviously, he's gone for Tarawih now. And everybody else who's been involved in supporting us. Zebi's coming on next after us as well. But I think we've got quite a lot to cover, so I'm going to hand over to you.
Well, earlier on I mentioned that we've had an amazing piece of artwork donated by Rashida Art. So I am going to hold it up. This art piece is called Total Submission. And it was inspired by the story of Yunus alayhi salam whilst he was stuck in the belly of the whale. And the meaning of this verse is, there is no deity except you, exalted are you, indeed I have been of the wrongdoers. So in reference to current atrocities happening in Palestine, the artists found that constantly praying this supplication helped her, as it reminds us that even if things seem so dark and as though there is no way out, like the story of Prophet Yunus alayhi salam, there is always hope. So the artist chose to paint poppies on this piece as they're the national flower of Palestine. And the calligraphy is written in a Maghrebi script. Now, if you are interested in bidding for this piece of artwork, we would be... Rohana, what did you say you'd like to start this bid at?
Shall we start it at £30? I mean,
Yeah.
it's worth a lot more than that, but let's just start with £30. Can we have a bid for £30, please? So if you are interested,
Beautiful.
it is gorgeous, and it's created as part of her Symbols of Resistance collection.
That's right.
She's an amazingly talented artist. does a lot of Islamic calligraphy and combines it with mental health as well and spiritual health. So I would really recommend, her work. It's amazing. So if you do want to bid, you can text in.
Yeah.
You can give us a call if you like. And I think our wonderful team in the studio have actually put a picture up on Facebook of the artwork. If you want, you can text us and say, please, can you send us the picture? And we can do that as well.
Yeah, you can be anonymous. You can place an anonymous bid as well. That's not a problem. And then we've also had a hydrofacial glow voucher, which is valid for 6 months, and it's from Aisha's Beauty Studio. So thank you, Aisha, for donating this facial. I know in the run-up to Eid, we'll all be wanting to keep our Ramadan glow everlasting. So this is one way that you can do that. The voucher value is for £40. And we can start bidding on this voucher at half the price, £20, and we'll go up from there, inshallah. And for every caller who calls in and makes a donation, we've got vouchers from Brew, we've got vouchers from Pitfire that are here to give out. So please call in, and we will take your pledge or your donation, and then we'll arrange for a voucher to get to you, or you can pick one up from the studio, inshallah. So and let's remember that every penny counts. So even if you're calling up and pledging £5 or £10, £15, it will all go towards the total. But what we are looking for today is £25 will support an early help and waiting well fund. £50 will support suicide prevention fund. Rahana gave an example earlier of when she helped a young lady who was ready to jump off a bridge. Now, without the adequate training and without the adequate support of staff at Jamila's Legacy, they're not able to provide those kinds of services. And then the biggest one is the crisis support fund. When you are in a time of crisis, it's not just the individual who is struggling and is in a crisis, but there will be extended family involved, the immediate family will be involved, and everybody needs that support. So it takes a lot of effort to work with multiple members of that family to help get this person out of crisis. So we have we're looking forward to your calls in the studio, and call us, text us. The text line is 077 488 55055, and the studio line is 0116 4822 086. And we both have our personal mobiles on us as well. So I know.
So Rahima, I have a pledge. Sorry, not a pledge. A bid for the artwork. £35 from Shireen.
Oh, mashallah. Thank you, Shireen.
So who's going to outbid her now? We have £35 already. So if somebody can outbid her, that would be fantastic. Going back to your facial glow, that facial voucher that we've got, starting at 20, worth £40 from Aisha and Shaf's Beauty Clinic. It's also about self-care, and it does connect with your mental well-being as well. These kind of things help you relax. We're very tense people.
We are.
We struggle, So things like massage is really important as well. You all have to find ways of learning to relax. And if that is looking at a piece of art, then we've got the most wonderful artwork here with the most beautiful dua that Yunus alayhi salam prayed when he was swallowed and was in the belly of the whale,
And it's a symbol of hope, isn't it?
It's
a symbol of hope.
And look at the inspiration that was created and painted with, what's happening in the world, and, the sorrow, and, when we lose hope, and things feel pointless. And that often can happen even when mental health is impacted. So your money will